Good morning, students. Today I am going to take history. We'll start with history. Okay, that is standard 7th, the administration of the Swaraj. Administration of the Swaraj. Okay. So we are going to see what was the administration or administrative system of Shivaji Maharaj. Now what is administration? Okay. What do you mean by the word administration? Okay. What is administration? Now administration is how to run about every day-to-day life. Okay, how do you solve the problems that a particular person would be facing? Okay, and what are the solutions that you can, as a king or as the leader of that particular thing, place, how you can overcome the problems. That is called as administration, and administration can be in every which field that is possible, be it in education, be it in your water, supply of water, be it in law and order, be it in the construction of the infrastructure or the development of the infrastructure, be it of the money banking system, whatever you want to, you name it, and how to run about that successfully is what is called as administration. So according to the definition, it would be, administration would be the successful running of every day to day life. Okay, every day to day life. So what is administration? The successful running of every day to day life. Got it? So this how Shivaji ran his administration, or how he ran the overall development of the Maharashtra state, is what we are going to learn about. Okay. So here it is. Shivaji Maharaj founded Swaraj. We knew that because it was actually the dream of his father, Shahaji Raje, and that was continued and brought into what do you call it as, it was fulfilled, I would say, rather than brought into, it was fulfilled by Shivaji Maharaj. Shivaji Maharaj founded Swaraj. He had himself crowned. After the coronation, Maharaj accomplished Dakshin Digvijay. What is Dakshin? Dakshin is south, and Digvijay is, conquering the southern part of this thing. See, exactly as I said, after the coronation, Maharaj accomplished Dakshin Digvijay. Dakshin is south and Digvijay is conquering, that is the conquest of the south. If you have a pencil, please underline this. Dakshin Digvijay is the conquest of the south. South, here Dakshin is south and Digvijay is conquering. The Swaraj expanded, comprising large areas of Nashik, Pune, Satara, Sangli, Kolhapur, Sindhudurg, Ratnagiri, Raigad and Thane districts of Maharashtra. It also included parts Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu states. So Shivaji Maharaj's rule went up to parts of Andhra Pradesh as well as Tamil Nadu. It was not just within the boundaries of Maharashtra, but it also got extended to parts of Andhra Pradesh as well as Tamil Nadu. To ensure the smooth management of the affairs of the Swaraj and to ensure people's welfare, Shivaji Maharaj set up an efficient administration. Okay, we shall get some information about it in this chapter. Now, Asta Pradhan Mandal. Okay, now administration again has, how do you run, like being a single person or being a single leader, he cannot see the overall overall work of a particular thing. And since his reign included the southern parts and other parts of the state, it was quite difficult for him to manage it by himself. So what would he do? Now suppose if I have to, like here, I'll just give you an example of our class, okay, just take a very small part of it. We'll not go to the bigger part of it, that I'll do it afterwards. Now if I have to, suppose this is with 7th standard, okay, now if I have to run the 7th class very smoothly every day, suppose I am the class teacher for 7th standard and I have to see that everyone is disciplined, all your problems as my students of 7th standard are solved, what am I supposed to do? Okay, what will I do? First, the instructions that I get, because I am a teacher, so I will not, but if I am not a teacher and I am the, just the head of 7th G, then what am I going to do? Okay, then what I would want to do is maintain the class discipline. That's the first thing I will do. So, to ensure that, what will I do? I will have a class monitor. First thing I'll do is assign a monitor. Okay, then I will ensure that that monitor sees the overall development of the class, correct? Now, once I have, because I am the head, then I will, as my assistant or as the person, because I can't be telling each and every student what to do and what not to do. So, I will pass on whatever instructions I have to pass, I will pass it to the monitor, and the monitor will give the instruction to the class as such, right? So, the first person I have under me is the monitor, who would see the maintenance of the class discipline and everything, correct? Now, the second person I will have is the row monitor. Okay, now who is the row monitor? Row monitor is the one who would, that would be the second person that I have appointed, who would see that every day that particular row of whom I have assigned to a particular child is well disciplined, the child is, whether the child is wearing a clean dress, neatly, if it is a girl, then neatly hair being plaited, 2 plaits, band, clip and everything is there, nails are cut, and if it is a boy, then shoe, so the thing is that row monitor will also see that the shoes are polished and all that. Then we have the calendar monitors. The third one would be the calendar monitor, who would check whether each and every child has written the homework or not, and whatever the remarks are given in the calendar are signed or not, and if not, they will come and inform. So, three the thing. Then I'll have one more child, I can say a disciplined child, who would be seeing to the overall discipline of the class, whether that child is listening to the monitors assigned or not. Okay, and every day as the class teacher of 7th standard, what would I do? I will not be calling all the students, I will not be asking all the students. What I would do is, every day I will only call the monitors of the class. That is the class monitor, the row monitor, the calendar monitor, the discipline monitor. And then I will be asking them whether they have done their duty or not, or if they have faced any problem or not. So, these monitors would be the mediators These monitors, please listen to the word very clear, these monitors would be the mediator between you and me, because I have assigned the duties to the monitors, and the monitors will impart these duties to you children, seeing that you do it and you have to listen to whatever they tell you to do, because they have got the instructions from me. I am the head of the class, so they have got the instructions from me and they will have to follow it by imparting it to you. And if you do not do that, they will bring it to my notice, and if they bring it to my notice, then I will call that child in particular and ask them as to why you have done or not done what is being told to you. Then the child has to give me a genuine answer as to why that thing has been followed or not. Because if I keep doing the works which I have assigned to the monitors by myself, then I will not be able to teach you. I will not be able to continue with my work. It will be like, suppose if there are 50 students in the class, if I have to check each and every child personally, then I will be wasting almost 10 to 15 minutes of mine and my class will not be taking place. So that's why I will be assigning the monitors to do the work while I do the work of the teaching. And the moment the monitors bring certain things to my notice, I will immediately take an action. And if there is a problem that is genuine and that needs my attention, then I'll try and solve that problem to the satisfaction of both the parties. And if there is a genuine problem or something like that, then I will take matters further ahead. So the monitors which are there who are looking after the thing, they are called as the administrative officers. They are called as the administrative officers. Okay, administrative officers. So of course they are, I am talking about in a grown up way, but the example that I have given is for your understanding as to how it would be, correct? So that is the, they would be the administrative officers who would be the go-between, or who would be the link, or who would be the bridge between the ruler and the people. Okay. So now we have, like, that's how, or they are also the council members. They are all the monitors put together, that is the room monitor, class monitor, calendar monitor, discipline monitors, they will be called as my councils. They will be called as my councils. Okay? So now in this also, the same way Shivaji or any other king, I am not talking only about Shivaji, any ruler will have an administrative section where the king will be imparting, and I will be only seeing as a head of the particular, since we are talking about the class, so I will say as a head of 7th standard class teacher, I will see that my monitors are doing the work that I have assigned to them. I may not come and personally see what that child is doing, but I will definitely see that the instructions which I have given to the monitors, whether they have followed to the rule or not, to the instructions or to the point that I have assigned to them. Same way is the case with the kings or the rulers who rule a particular country, a region or state or whatever you want to call it as. They also have a number of council members under them who are the go-between or the link between the ruler and the people. So the first one we have is Ashtapradhan Mandal, Council of 8 ministers. So Ashta is 8. Ashta is 8. Mandal is the council. Okay. So Mandal is the ministers of 8 council and 8 ministers. At the time of his coronation, Shivaji Maharaj appointed a council of 8 ministers. The administration was divided into 8 departments. Since it is Ashtapradhan, that means the division were of 8 parts. A head was appointed for each department, isn't it? As I said, head was appointed in each division. These 8 heads of department constituted the Ashtapradhan Mandal. Maharaj alone had the power to appoint a minister or to remove him from his position. So as I said before, that I have, if I find that one of the monitors that I have assigned is not doing the work properly, then immediately I will change the monitor and I will appoint the next person or the next child as the monitor of that particular department. Okay. So the same way, even a king or a ruler of a particular country can do it. If they find that that minister to whom that work has been assigned is not doing it properly or cheating or simply taking the work for granted, the king has the right to remove him. The ministers were answerable to Maharaj for the administration of their respective department. The same way the monitors are answerable to me as to why they have or not have done the work that was assigned to them. Okay. Shivaji Maharaj selected the council on the basis of their merit and achievements. He did not give them jagirs, watans or gifts or fiefs. They were paid handsome salaries instead. So now, for example, of course, I would be like, if I find that if I have appointed a calendar monitor, why I have appointed? Because I have seen that child's calendar up to date. And that means that child knows what has to be done in the calendar every day. That's the reason why I have appointed him as a calendar monitor. The same way he'll instruct the students to do it. If I see, if I have appointed a child as a discipline monitor, as a why? Because then I have seen that the overall discipline of the child is good. That is why I have appointed him as the head of the discipline monitor. The same way Shivaji Maharaj has also done. He has appointed those head on the basis of their merits. But instead of giving them, like when it was in the past, the thing, the kings and queens, they used to, or the rulers, they used to give away, a huge piece of land to that particular person if they were happy with that person, as a gift or as a mark to show that yes, your work is appreciated. They would give them, saying, okay, you have this much of land, that could be a huge this thing, okay, that would be only his. But Shivaji Maharaj did not do. Instead, what he did was pay them the salaries. Of course, I won't be paying any salaries, so don't think that I am paying the salaries to the monitors that I have appointed. But no, what I can do instead is give them the stars. Instead of here, since it's a matter of class, so what would I do is, I will give them the stars. Every week, if I find that the monitors whom I have appointed has done their work or job exactly the way I have told them, and I get appreciation from everyone, then I would give, kind of, instead of giving him something like chocolates or something like that, I would give that child or the monitor or the head of the department as a star. So the number of stars he gets collected is showing the, the increment in his status. So that is what Shivaji also did. He did not give them pieces of land. Instead, he gave them the salary. Okay. Now here, if you see, here on the page 29, a table is given. Okay, that is the Ashtapradhan Mandal of Shivaji Maharaj. So the 8 council members are there, their designation, that is what are their role as the member of the council and their work. So I will just give it in detail as to what it is. The first one is Moro Trimbak Pingle. That was the name of the minister. The first minister was out of the 8 one were Moro Trimbak Pingle. His designation was as Pradhan. Pradhan is, I guess, the head of the department, and work would be running the administration and making arrangement for the conquered territories. Okay. So yes, as being head of this, so he is assigned as the head of all the council members of all the 7 members, and he had to see that whatever the works are assigned to these 7 ones, they do it, and he would be the link between those 7 and the Maharaj himself. Okay. Now the second one is Ramachandra Nilkant Mazumdar. His designation was Amatya. What is Amatya? Keeping the accounts of the state. So whatever revenue is collected, whatever the people give in terms of taxes, we hear revenues would, the only way they can collect the revenue is through taxes, the way we are still doing it. So you have, so that person, that is Amatya, had to keep a record of all the accounts. Then we have Annaji Datto, that is Sachiv. Sachiv is again the head preparing royal edicts. What is royal edicts? That is preparing the orders. Okay, whatever the orders are being given by the king, he has to prepare it every day. Dattaji Trimbak Vakne is Mantri. So he is the Mantri, and his work is the correspondence. That is all the writing work. Then Hambi Rao Mohete, he is the Senapati. Senapati is looking after the army, or the organization of the army and protection of the kingdom. That is the defense of the state. That is the defense of the, so they were called as the Senapatis. Then Ramachandra Trimbak Dabir, that is Sumant. He is the person foreign relations. Foreign relation did not be like, you know, out of the country or something. Even like for Maharashtra, Gujarat is a foreign state, Madhya Pradesh is a foreign state, Uttar Pradesh is the foreign state. Down south, if you take Karnataka, would be the foreign state, because they are not Marathis, they are their own respective, they have their own respective culture and religion to follow. So for Maharashtrians, they are also the foreign people. Okay, so that is to keep the, maintain the foreign relations. Then we have Niraji Ravaji Nyayadhish. Of course, Nyayadhish, as we all know, come to know just by the word, is the law and order. That is dispensing justice or maintaining the law and order. Then we have Moreshwar Pandit Rao, that is Pandit Rao looking after religious matters. That is all the religious functions that is being held in the state, he has to look after them. So, Ashtapradhan Mantra of Shivaji Maharaj, this, if you can, you either write it over here or over here as important with the pencil. Okay, you can write it as important with the pencil. Then we have the policy regarding agriculture. Now, what were the policies regarding the agriculture system that we are going to see? Agriculture was the main occupation in the villages. Yes, as we all know, Maharashtra is very, very good at agriculture. It is known as the state of agriculture because there are fresh vegetables grown over here and it is imported to other parts of the country. Maharaj knew the importance of agriculture, definitely, because unless they are there, we cannot survive. Can we? Without the farmers, can we survive? No, we cannot survive without the farmers, because they are the ones who fill our stomach. Then that was why he paid attention to the welfare of the farmers, because unless they are kept happy, we cannot live happy. They are our strength, right? We do need to increase our strength and stamina. We have to have food, and who will give us food? The farmers. So unless the farmers are looked after, would we get the best of food? No, we will not get that. So there, this thing is very, very important. He entrusted the responsibility of organizing the land revenue system to his capable and experienced office bearer, Annaji Datto. He was the one who was looking after the agricultural policy. He warned the officers that they should not collect more revenue than the amount that was fixed. He encouraged peasants to bring uncultivated land under cultivation. If the crop was lost due to excessive rains or drought, or if any enemy army had devastated the area of the village, remissions were granted in land revenue and other taxes. Maharaj had instructed his officers to provide peasants with bullocks, plows and good seeds for sowing. So Maharaj knew the importance of the farmers, that unless they are kept happy, we will not be able to get good food to eat. And he had warned his officers that the taxes that you collect will not be more than what I have allotted. If I hear that you have collected more taxes than what was given or told to them, then you will be punishable. But in case if the land is destroyed due to heavy rain or some the battle that has taken place and the land has been destroyed, then the officers were instructed to help those farmers to overcome that problem and solve it. Got it? Now the time is up. In the next class, we'll continue with village economy of that period. Okay, bye everyone.